Okay, so this is 8.1a part 2. And now we're going to be finding a missing side length. So here is our triangle. Notice that they've given us an angle and they've given us a letter to indicate which side they want us to look for. Okay? So just like when we're finding the angle, our first step is to label. So we're going to start off labeling our hypotenuse. Now, instead of having that little angle symbol, okay, they're giving us an angle. So we're going to use that the same way. So I'm going to circle this, and we're going to use that over here, and that's our opposite. And then whatever is not labeled is going to be adjacent. Oops. Okay. Now we need to circle the two sides that have information. So we know this side has information because it has a number. And we're going to consider whatever letter they've used to be a piece of information as well. So we're going to circle the side with the letter. Okay. So our two sides are hypotenuse and adjacent. So we can go up here to our ratios. We're looking for A and H. So the one with A and H is here. So that means we're going to be using cos. So we have adjacent and hypotenuse. So that means cos. So we're just going to copy down the formula to start. Cos of the angle is equal to adjacent over hypotenuse. Okay. And then I'm going to fill in the information that I know. So I know cos. Now, instead of just using the angle sign, I'm going to put in the angle that I know. So I know the angle is 39. So here is going to be filled in 39. And then for my adjacent, we're going to use the letter that they've given us, x. And for my hypotenuse, I'm going to use the number that's circled up here with hypotenuse. So that's 7. Okay. So now what I want to do is I want to isolate this x to be on one side of the equal sign. It doesn't matter which side, but one side of the equal is by itself. So right now it's almost by itself, but it has this divided by 7. So I need to get rid of that divided by 7. So I'm going to do the opposite of divide by 7. So to move it over here. So the opposite of divide by 7 is multiply by 7. So I'm going to multiply it by 7 over here, multiply it by 7 over here. When I multiply this, because it's dividing, these cancel, and I get 7. Well, let me not use it equals. Hold on. Where's my eraser? Put an arrow. Okay, this is turning to this. 7 times cos 39 is equal to x. So my x now is alone. So now I need to put into my calculator cos 39 and then multiply the answer that I get by 7. Okay, so some calculators you can put whoops, I didn't mean to do that. You can put 7 times cos 39 into your calculator as one equation and just press enter. Other calculators you need to say 39 first, then press the cos button and then press enter and then multiply the answer by 7. Okay, so depending on your calculator. So when I do that, I get an answer, and here my side x is equal to 5.44. So that's my final answer for my x side length. So we're going to try the same thing again, okay, to solve for in this one. Okay, so here we have an angle of 46, a side of 7, and an x. So we're going to start off the same way. As always, we label. This is our hypotenuse. Then this one is going to be our opposite. And then finally, we have adjacent. We're going to circle the sides that have information next to them. So this one has a letter and this one has a number. And then I have adjacent and I have opposite. So I'm going to go, that's O and A. I'm going to go back up here and I'm going to find the one that has O and A together. So that's TOA, which means tan. So I can say up and adjacent equals tan. So now I'll write the formula for tan. Tan of an angle is equal to opposite over adjacent. Then I'm going to fill in what I know. So instead of writing the angle sign, I know my angle is 46 here. So I'll put in 46. I know opposite up here is 7. And then adjacent at the bottom is x. Okay. So I want to isolate my x. This is slightly trickier because if you look here, the 7 was on the bottom. So all I had to do was move it over there and now the x is isolated. Here, it's a little harder. I can't just move this 7 because then I would have 1 over x. And I don't want 1 over x, I want x. Because the 7 is on the bottom, we have to do this in 2 steps. The first step is going to be moving the x over here. And then the second step is going to be moving the tan out of the way. Okay? So basically, what's going to end up happening is that these two things are going to switch places. Our tan 46 and our x, but only when it's on the bottom. Okay? And we're going to use 2 steps for that. So the first step is going to be, we're going to multiply both sides by x, and that's going to cancel out. That's going to be our step 1. So then I get x tan 46 is equal to 7. Okay, that's the first thing that's happening. Next, I want the x to be by itself. So I'm going to take the tan 46 and I need to move it over here. So these two are multiplying. So the opposite of multiplying is dividing. So I need to divide both sides now by tan 46. So when I do that, whoops, this and this cancel. So I get x is equal to 7 over tan 46. So you notice, if I look back at my original, the tan 46 and the x have swapped places, okay? So if you ever see the x on the bottom, you can just swap these two, okay? And if you're not sure about how to do that, then just go through the steps. So swapping them is just a shortcut. So that's what happened. They switched places, okay? So, and it only works if the x is on the bottom. Can you do that? Okay, so now let's finish this off. I can now put 7 over tan 46 into my calculator. Sometimes you might need brackets. And my answer is going to be 6.76. So it's very important for this section that you learn how to use your calculator and spend some time figuring that out. Okay, so now you're going to do the worksheet again. And it's the second page, so number 2. So these are all measuring the sides. Okay, so 2A to F. Oh, and just so you know, for both question 1 and 2, the answers for these are here at the bottom of the worksheet. So you can check to see if you got the right final answer, and I'll also post the full solutions for that. So what is it? What was it? A to F. So you're doing worksheet question 2, A to F. All right, so that's it for this section.